I become obsessed with my angel number,
Okay.
and that was something else I was gonna run by you there. I don't understand. Like you know when you have an angel number, it's not just 444. Mine's just a number. It's
Mm-hmm.
like 58, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not. That's not the number. I don't know if I can say it and it'll ruin it, like a birthday wish or something. That's the reason I
Yeah.
don't give it out. But I
Good.
don't want to chance it
If you
because
don't want to
right
give it
now,
out, then you shouldn't.
yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to ruin it because the one time I did tell somebody, that person and my friendships ended that day. I'm like, oh, what did I do?
Oh,
It was
then
weird because
don't
he got
don't say it.
yeah. But I'm just wondering, like, you have an angel number 58, and it might say that this means that you have a good relationship, make it stronger, and your angels are helping you with your decisions. Like, should I go to those sites and look and see what they mean? Like sun sign and sacred scribes.
Well, I mean,
There's about a half
it's
dozen.
it's cool if you can. Yeah, there's a ton of
Yeah.
books and sites out there that talk about angel numbers, and angel numbers can be really cool. I
Hmm.
anything anybody asks me like, what does this mean? It doesn't matter what it is. If it's an animal, it's a spirit number, it doesn't matter. What I would recommend anybody do is just stop and be quiet and just kind of center yourself and feel what does it make you feel? What does it make you think about? Or, it doesn't matter if you can't put words to it. It's just how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel safe, comforted, happy, protected, whatever it is?
Hmm.
That's what I would do first. And then if you look it up and it sounds cool, it's like, oh yeah, that's cool too. That's always great. I mean, looking stuff up, we have this amazing tool with the internet.
Hmm.
Why not just look it up? But I always recommend people to stop and kind of ask them, what does it feel like to me first before I look it up? Because when you're looking something up, and I have all these amazing spirit animal books and things like that, and
Hmm.
they're great. They're a nice resource, but I'm going to ask, like, what does this make me feel first before I look anything up? Because that really, to me, is going to be the true message. And that's the most important thing. So if it doesn't match then what you look up and see on the internet or whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's fine. But I would always take what feels right for me first before I'd worry about what the internet says.
That makes sense. It actually does match pretty well. That's what was
Good.
concerning me. I'm like, this is but it matches, but it's also used in like a way of, like, if I see it and I'm having a really tough time with something, it'll pop into a combination, like, you know, like, say the number on a dollar bill, something like that, a receipt at a gas station, or my
Hmm.
gas tank, my gas amount will be that amount, and I'll say, like, to myself, like, okay, well, that makes sense, and I'll just quit worrying about it. And
Yep.
it's almost, I say, all it's 100% effective. Now, a couple of times I think I was just trying to see it and stress it. But when it comes out, when I'm in a real bind and it just pops in, like, there it is. I'm like, okay,
Yep.
I'll just chill
Yep.
out.
Yep. And that's those interesting communications or spirit connections that we have
Hmm.
that, when we notice it and then we keep noticing it, that's what I think is so powerful because, there's so often people could dismiss it and go, oh, that's just a coincidence. That's, oh, well, that's weird. That's odd. And I just think there's no coincidence really. If it's happening, if it's coming up, then there's a reason. And what does it make you feel first? And if it always comes up and it has forever and ever, then yeah, that might be one of your numbers or your
Hmm.
signs or whatever it is. And maybe it only comes up for a while, you mentioned the number 58. Well, let's say it's 55, right? And so you're
Hmm.
seeing fives all the time or 555 or whatever. And when I'm looking in, because I do tarot readings. And so I don't do a lot with
Hmm.
numerology, but tarot, and I look at tarot and I look at the number 5 in tarot, and there's a lot of change. It's kind of the middle of the run of cards. And so it's all about change. And so there have been times in my life where I'll see fives all over the place. And when I think about it first, I think about it does to me mean change. And so I look at what's going on in my world or my life or my day or whatever, and it's, oh yeah, there's some change happening. And it's interesting how when I kind of moved through the change, the fives disappear like
Hmm.
that. I may not see them as often or at all until maybe the next time around when some cool stuff is happening.
That's interesting. So 55 was one of mine before, and it has disappeared.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and it went from 55. I think when I was first noticing it, 55 was just something I caught on, and it was happening whenever I felt a certain way. Then it moved to 52, and then it's where it is now, and it's
Okay.
stayed where it is now. Almost like I should get a tattoo on my arm.
Oh,
Like I've thought about it. Like I don't want to have to explain it though. But
right. And then you have to tell people.
like yeah, I'm like yeah. Look, I am nuts. So I had this branded on my arm with a coat hanger.
Oh,
but but uh, but what's funny is looking back, that number is in my wife's phone number since I met her. That number is in both my grandparents' phone numbers. I'm like, this is
cool.
wild.
That's
It
cool.
goes back.
That might be a
And
keeper.
yeah, I mean, I put out the message like, I'm going to trust this and test it. And I've tested it and it worked. And so
Cool.
I kind of like that. And I'll see something, I'll see it like at random times in the day when stuff's just hitting the fan. And I'm like, okay, really? Why we got to do this now? I'm like, if you want me to do this, just make it happen.
Oh no. That's not how it works. You know,
Heaven forbid.
yeah, well, right. But sometimes, it's just that kind of stuff is supposed to stop us from where we're at mentally or emotionally. And it is to just give us like a reset, instead
Mhm.
of having kind of a meltdown or, you know, kind of spinning out of control or going down a rabbit hole. Maybe we do see that number and it kind of brings us back to center and just, it could just be spirit's way of putting a hand on your shoulder and saying, hey, just relax for a second, take a deep breath, and we'll get through this
Like, you know where
or
it's going.
whatever it's supposed to mean. So, yeah, very cool.
What I've enjoyed doing now that I'm kind of testing it more because it really hit home last year with something that I really needed to happen and make happen, and they kept giving me the sign in the correspondence with a particular event, and I'm like I'm going to test this and it's going to happen, and sure enough, I felt like I felt like what happened was a complete miracle
Wow.
because I thought I was just careening off the edge. It was a big test I had to take, and it was
Mm,
all the signs were in there, and I'm like, there's no way I passed. And all of a sudden, ended and I passed. I'm like,
nice.
holy Jesus, there it is.